Welcome to New Earth. Hi, I'm Joanna. Welcome, welcome. We've got all your teams and your guides and the angels and the beautiful birdies outside. Christ Collective working with us and our new grids. Did it feel great? Our grids feel really great. We're all preparing for this beautiful experience upon our planet and constantly renewing and evolving ourselves into new versions of who we are. And so today we're going to talk about a little short channel I got from the Masters with the story of God. And it was really exciting. I was overwhelmed, very humbled. And that the experience of being humbled and constantly humbling the ego and honoring the ego and not demeaning it or dishonoring it in any way, and disharmonizing it through the judgment and the belittlement that we often do of ourselves, showing ourselves, coulda, shoulda, woulda experiences and stories. And they've shown me many beautiful experiences for many of the people that are with our collective. Those of you that have been with us for so very long, and the many clients that I deal with throughout my week, I always bring these stories forward to share with you about the collective change and how we're raising our consciousness through our own inner self-love, self-care, self-direction of who we are as the epicenter of light of the Christ, of the sovereignty of who we are, creating our self-direction, creating the rebuilding and the restructuring of our own inner sense of self, the spirit, the mind, the body, and the heart and soul, being able to soothe that inner child, all of the inner child wounds, all of the psyche wounds, all of the lineage, the Akash, and the experiences that we move through life. And knowing that everybody is moving through their own experiences of trauma and pain. And for us to allow ourselves to kind of step out of the personal experience of it and detach and just make peace with all experiences to offer it its highest ability of light. And that's what Archangel Michael was showing us, that it's all wrapped up in this beautiful story of God that we're going to offer you today. Sometimes the daily minutia of all the vibrational stories that we're seeing ourselves leave and transverse and navigate through, because we're all a human family, we're all a human collective. The collective in and of itself, through every new cycle of ascension for the planetary ascension, because everything is micro, macro, inner, without, the inner you, the you that you are reflecting to all others, the collective of you, is your core vibration. So the more that you pay attention to your own core vibration, that's all you really need to do. Everything that you do from within is allowing you to see your reality in a different way. So the more love that you pour into yourself, the more joy that you pour into yourself, the more understanding and the self-care, then you bring those energies forward to have the reflection of you. And we're constantly, without stop, without hesitation, without question, we are constantly in a state of evolution. We are the vessels of light. We are the source creator seed. We are constantly evolving from within, constantly evolving to all of the codes and all of the light and all of our grids that are bathing upon us and within us and around us. The infinite amount of galactic beings and beautiful experiences around our planet that are assisting us to harmonize the different collectives, to harmonize and smooth out any social frictions and those stories that are going on, and to bathe all of those stories with love and light, to see it from its highest perspective, that those stories of friction and catalytic energies that we have within our inner outer, the micro macro within the story of you that is a friction, those energies and those wounds and those inner child acceptance and those inner child acknowledgements and those inner child woundings is going to be reflected in those energies that you see without, those ones that you manifest outside of you, so that you can then face it and say, what is this showing me? But if you're not in an awakened conscious state and you're living from that space of the old paradigms in the ego, we tend through the ego is to place blame, and we place the outer experience is not ours. And so our whole collective is going through, what do we see at the collective level? And how can we look at ourselves as to how our homes are sacred, how our inner home is sacred? What value do we place upon ourselves and within ourselves? How can I start redirecting the value of me, the health of me, the happiness of me, the joy of me, and thus then, therefore, your whole outer reality experience changes. And it's not something you ever have to force, but just honor yourself that every day you're taking 15, 30 minutes, twice a day at minimum, to do your daily clearing, to clear out your chakras from traumas that you might not even be aware are causing some of the ways that you think about yourself, belittle yourself, and then therefore project to all others. And then also to have those experiences called into you for examination and refinement. And so everything is this experience of evolutionary reflection, refinement, and begin again. Reflection of what was, refinement, and begin again. And it's that infinity that's always constant, 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 always constant. That's spirit, constantly evolving. You are never at an end state with spirit, never. You are never the end state master. And any master that says they've stopped learning and that's all there is to know is not a master. And that's why we're always constantly humbled. We always take a knee. In every example of spiritual work, we must take a knee. Because that is when the ego is assuming its place as leader and driver of the experiential ship, and it's just not. That's when it wants things and needs things and desires things over the spirit. The spirit is saying, you've still got lessons to learn. And this is why it takes many lifetimes and eons to prepare as a master and as a leader of the people, and why it should be obvious. I'll say this, maybe nobody's else said it, but this is where in the future, world leaders of peoples, they will absolutely go through a certain element of honoring the spirituality to become a leader, because it's reverence. To honor the people before you must be reverence. Their soul's path and all that it has taught you and allowed you to learn and to see in yourself is that exact reflection of how you see and honor and earn the value of others. Because it will be evident, it will be known that beyond what is said, there was always a level of truth, and it will be held and it will be seen in the chakras, it will be held and seen in the aura, it will be held and seen in everything, because vibration is vibration. You can't hide behind the words. Vibrational beingness is your state of being on how much you've worked through within you. And it's a tangible experience. Tangible, and that absolutely it affects your core vibration, and vibration is truth, and it's known in all things, and it's known in the words that you speak, because that's your truth. And it's ever evolving and shifting and directing. And that's meant to be that way. You're going to have those moments where you have to alchemize all of those little stories of minutia that you're leaving behind you, because you're letting those versions of you go, and you have to rewrite yourself anew. And they wanted me to say that I'm going to go through some of the client experiences and the class experiences that we've had lately to see how profound this time of evolution is for humanity. Specifically, many of the divine feminine, and it doesn't matter if you're in a male body or a female body. The divine feminine that is being raised up and lifted at this time to rebalance much of humanity's stories through evolution, to be brought back into balance for its evolutionary galactic path and journey. And so what we were going, there's spirit, we were going, the experiences and the minutia of who we are becoming in this ever evolutionary now omnipresence. And it takes a lot, especially when you've been through many traumas and you've been through many experiences, through challenging, super challenging experiences, and how mastery is always an initiation phase, because you're constantly, your teams and your souls are saying, you, as I'm clearing, you as a master and as a soul, and all the experiences you've carried and all the realms you've experienced yourself on, and all the mastery elements and your ancestors and everything that's feeding through the portal of you, your masters and your ancestors are saying, you've got this, just surrender into the vastness of the soul of all that you are, and just trust your heart in the choices that you're making. You're meant as a master to take the path less taken. You're meant as a master to challenge the social norms. You're meant as a master to be the one that nobody understands, because you're bringing social truths. You're bringing masterful truths that are not yet known. This time is so important because we've never been here before as a human collective, as individuals. We're constantly having to return within every day. If you're doing your daily self-care, you won't find yourself so flustered and bouncing around and not grounded, trying to look for other people for where your path is. So if you're going within and doing your daily self-direction, and who are you as spirit, and what is your most experience of who you are as a story of spirit and source, who you are as God, then you're always guided from within. You're always return to that excitement. You're always return to the embellishment of you. You're always return to the exuberance of you. You always return to the truth of you. And your guides and your answers are constantly activating through the new grids, and it's easier to read that information and feel it and sense it and become it. Offer it forward as your truth of expression. And so, but what that means is that we've never been here before. And we had an incredible class yesterday. So anybody that wants to purchase that video from us, we had so many amazing experiences. You know that you're in a new evolutionary experience where everything in every other moment becomes a miracle, and you're actually seeing the connecting of the dots of all things, and the things that you're actually sensing in this intuitive being are coming to life before you. That's how you know you're getting closer and closer to 5D, because you're manifesting from thought. You're manifesting from the being that you are a spirit. You're a vessel of light. And you can manifest this beautiful experience in all that we've known our multi-billion-dollar business of art of manifestation and the law of attraction to be very, very simple in one sentence. But you have to understand and allow yourself the allowance and the surrender of it, which most aren't, because they're still living from fear, ego, and limitation, from all of the familial, akashic lineage and stories that we're all cutting the cords of and allowing our soul to live new, because we are our souls living through us. We are the souls of the heaven. We are the bridges to the heavens. Heaven lives through us. And in that is that they were showing me in this beautiful class yesterday, and part of it was aligned with my dreams and my visions and so on, is that we were experiencing ourselves seeing this new version of Earth and the new elements and the new energies that are coming to this new platform of Earth. And the angels and the ascended masters were with us in that class. And they were showing me in this specific visualization, I just about came to tears, because those that were in the class and many of my long-term clients have been with us through this evolutionary experience of the divine sacred feminine coming to life and coming to new masterful levels. And the masters were showing me presenting this masterful table, this round table, and the masters were showing us through me, because I am an eye to what's going on here, if you will, and so are many of you. That's why you can see and feel yourselves on ships. And I am, thank you, Papa Katatiki. You can see yourself as these many different experiences of who you are. Thank you, Spirit. I'm so grateful, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. They're watching right now. They're always with us, seeing how we're evolving. How do we share ourselves? Is it of our pure intention? Is it of our pure joy? Or is it from an ego experience? And it's okay. There's no judgment in between. But you know that you're evolving when you just let go of the games, because it's so much energy and effort that's not needed and required anymore. And it's because you've always sought your improvement in who you are and your validation, your acceptance outside of you, from dogma, from families, from social societies, from what is the social status now? Am I accepted? It only comes from you. And so allowing yourself to just release yourself from all of those social experiences and just allow yourself to be the joy of who you are as spirit. That is the 5D template. The joy of who you are as spirit through the expression, the experience, and the exploration of who you are. And in that, and only that, all will be supplied to you, as we've said in every one of our shows. You don't have to do anything above that to receive your abundance. You don't have to do anything above that or outside of that to receive your gifts and tools. There will be activations and there will be threads sent to you to go see a class and to do this and go there, because it also connects you and networks you with your world and your collective omnipresent energies that you can also thread with and be with. So in this experience of the galactic table, we're returning back to who you are in the center of you, as you seeing the all that is and how we are shifting and changing as a collective. You're seeing yourself in all of these vibrational stories that you can heal and bring yourself along for the ride. The versions of you, all versions of you, all versions of your collective, to bring everything along for the ride. Nothing and no one is left out. And you can see it from that beautiful space of being in that highest vibrational power of Archangel Michael, to face everything without fear, without neglect or rejection. And just allow it its highest grace of love and inclusion, and just allow the wounding of whatever that experience is to be acknowledged and to be expressed for its healing. And just standing in your highest light and your power, not to give over power or fearful expression and give your power away to it, therefore making it even bigger. But standing and facing anything that's coming up out of who you are as a soul, because remember, as you live as a soul, all of those soul fragments come up and offer you experiences to be healed and made whole. So you become bigger and bigger and bigger as an etheric being. You also have not only the smaller soul fragments, we say smaller, not in quantitative or qualitative, just in the experiences that they offer you, because you carry the bigger light to call it in and make it whole. And that is the same reflection, and is always the same reflection as those that face you. The more that you carry in light and the more ether that you carry as God, the more that you carry as God, you will have equal opportunities to also carry even greater light for the healing. Just to be present and just to hold space for whoever is before you, so that they can also see their equal light. And no matter how that experience, is judged or defined, doesn't matter, because it is an equal expression of the universe wanting its equal balance. It's always the laws of the universe, wanting its equal balance, to be known, to be acknowledged, to be shared as equal, as one. And then that's when the healing can occur, because it has been acknowledged, it has been honored, it has been valued as its acceptance within the all. And so they were showing me that this big round table, and the masters were showing me in this group, as I was looking at the group across the screen that we were in this class with, they were saying that isn't it lovely that you guys can see with one another how important you are to one another, and how you are each allowing one another to be the masters. and that we are becoming the new masters of the planet, and the ones that we gave such power and grace and reverence to, always outside of us in another timeline, and always apart from us, that we always seek reverence and guidance from, that we are now becoming those masters. And that's what yesterday's class was all about, as we talked about the story of God and the vibration of that, and how we're in this really grand experience of evolution. And we can no longer put that power outside of us, but know that we have it within us. And that's really, really powerful. And it takes a while to kind of assimilate with and integrate, so that you're absolutely bringing all of that acclaim and all of that power and all of that grace back to you. Therefore, allowing you to absolutely stand in the Archangel Michael experience, which you are. It's not outside of you, it is you. The Jesus experience, the Master experience, it is you. And take a breath. And that's when you're humbled. Because everything that comes before you are the little minutiae stories that you held yourself so victimized with, because that was an aspect of the other side of the story where you're giving your power away to something that seemed outside of you, or more powerful than you, or more, their stories were more important than yours, and they're absolutely not. You're one, it's one with you. But it's just showing you the wound that needs to be recalled and called in. And so they were showing me as this beautiful galactic roundtable, and they were showing me the micro macro vision, the holographic experience. And they were showing me the masters looking at the masters, looking at the masters, looking at the masters. It's very, the eye of God perspective and the eye of God view. And it brought great tears to my eyes, because it was like, I was finally seeing and feeling the alchemy of all of the years that I've been working and being born here. Obviously not in my youngest of ages. I do have in utero experiences. I remember those, and I've had some visions there. But in my earlier years, I don't remember, my mastery. I just absolutely remember being the eye of God, if you will, as if I was just an experience of portal for the heavens, and experiencing in a world that was different than what others were experiencing. And it was obvious to me at a very early age that I was communicating with the world in ways that others weren't. But those experiences had to occur, because in my awakening, those were the things that needed to be healed to allow that portal of light to be opened for other people to come through. And that's why we go through what we go through. You can't go through the same level of light here if you're not allowing the catalyst of the wounding here to be brought forward and be healed and acknowledged and faced. Not to be pretended that it didn't happen, not to pretend that it called it a different name, but call it for what it is, face it, call it forward, own the shadow, own the energies of anxiety and, nervousness, lack of self, lack of abundance, whatever it is that those shadow energies are, call it and own it. And start sending love to it. Start sending love to the inner body and the inner child, so that inner child knows you have its back. So it never has to act out to get what it thinks it needs outside of itself, because it doesn't. It only needs it from within. And you're the one that's now being the mother and the father for that inner child. So that you don't have to choose from ego anymore. You're just choosing from the spirit of who you are. And you become the master of you, and you get to see all that micro macro experience of that. Yeah, you are the master, because you're the master here, here, and here. You're just now calling it yourself, because nobody's giving you that ability and permission to say, oh, of course you're a master. Because we've come from such environments to say, no, your power belongs outside of you. You need to give your power to that person that wears a cape, and that person that does this, and that person does that, and they need to tell you who you are. And if you're not, then you're sinned and you're going to hell. Types of experiences. And that's absolutely not the case. You have the soul's experiences that you have so that you can awake. And so however many experiences you need to go back to the center and love yourself and acknowledge yourself as love and acknowledge yourself as accepted, you can't get it from anything outside of you. Nothing outside of you. And why, when we're going to talk about the art of manifestation and the law of attraction and all of the multi-billion-dollar business that's been built around it, it really is the simplicity of the story of God, which is what they showed me. And so I'm going to provide that to you as well, as we're becoming the new masters of our planet. The grids are us supporting us in that. Our ancestors are living through us as the soul. Our soul is constantly giving us fragments of ourselves, whether it's positive or negative or wounded, for us to call in and love and heal. And we can always stand as the Archangel Michael to face it in equal love, to face it in equal honor and gratitude and strength and respect, to say, yes, I am one with you, and I offer you the love and the balance and the space that you require to do your healing. And that way you get to know what your boundaries and your energies are, and then allowing others to live their space and their pacing and their temperament for their own soul's path. And just understanding yourself in all new moments that the more that you're working within yourself and rebuilding yourself, then you absolutely know what your direction is, what your story is, being okay with the path less taken. And anything that does come up, you can perceive it from an infinite number of perspectives to know that you have the strength of Archangel Michael, you have the wisdom of the masters, you have the understandings of all earth shamans and magicians, that you're using all of the energies for the highest and the best, and the benevolence of the all and always in reverence that you will be shown. And that is a process of constant mastery, constant spiral of evolution, constant, you know. And why many of you that have been with me for forever, you know, have seen, I think, I don't know, it was 2014, I think we started our Facebook. And you've seen the evolution in me, because part of my purity and my innocence is to always present myself through that vulnerability of transparency. You know, I've always kept it very, very real and transparent. And you've all seen in my posts when I'm going through a release, and you've seen in my posts when I'm inspiring you to go through your release, and when I'm, you know, moving through the evolution of who I am and owning and claiming it and just saying, okay, let's return to center and let's build in who I am. Now I see it from a new perspective, and I can hold the space for that level of healing. Because sometimes those wounds require a great level of light, because they are so steeped in many timelines, and they do absolutely incur hundreds and hundreds of millions of people as far as subjugation, abuse of power, and all of the injustices and the fairness that has gone on our planet. And you have to absolutely alchemize and be that vibration to stand in it with Archangel Michael. And you can't do it through just reading about it, you know. Woo. You have to know how to get there, you know, vibrationally, and stand in it so that you can hold space for those that need you to hold that space for them, you know, and why you go through what you go through, but you don't see that while you're in the minutia of it. So that's why it's important to honor your path. That Jesus, and, you know, they were showing me the other day, you know, I said to Jesus, I said, well, why would I want to choose a path with like so much challenge, and I'm constantly being initiated, you know? And he's saying, because you know, and why I chose, you know, some of the, I call them mistakes, if you will, you know, that I did, because you're so hard on yourself. You don't understand the blessing within it all. You haven't given yourself the honor that every moment is that you're renewing and you're evolving of you. Because you want to see yourself from different levels and different angles, and you want to know that you can do it. You want to know that you can get yourself a backup. You want to know that you're giving yourself your own wings, that you can soar to new levels. You wanted that. You didn't want someone to come in and lift your hand up. You wanted to do it for yourself, because you wanted to show other women that they could too. That was your path. Honor it, regardless of how hard it has been, and how you know, how the acknowledgement has not been there for you, or the blessedness has not been there for you. It will be, and all you require it is from God and you, because you want to feel so accepted within your community and your collective. And this is why we're here, to give it to others that also are working through that same journey of lack of acceptance and not honoring who they are as a specific being of light that has unique gifts of expression and creativity and intuitiveness and psychic abilities, and harmonizing with the earth and the planet and the sacred wildlife language and the sacred elemental language, and all that we do as masters on all levels. But he was also saying that that was your path. That's what you needed. You needed it. You created it because you needed to see for your own wholeness of being, of how deep and rich you could love. Because anything that you manifest that might seem challenging or wrong, or however we define it as not optimal, you know, because you will. We're evolving. We can never go backwards. We can't stop and go put life back to a closed off, turned off state. We are awakened. Our collective is awakening, and we will never turn back. We will always continue to grow in consciousness. So in that awakening, you always know you're on this evolutionary experience of just constantly evolving and recycling and renewing yourself as the regeneration of spirit, the all evolving of spirit. And you call in those catalytic friction experiences. You know, if you're doing your daily self-care and you know your cycle of ascension, you understand your pacing, you're gentle and you're honoring of yourself, and you're continuing that expression of spirit. You're continuing rebalancing your emotional, your physical, your mental, your etheric bodies, spiritual bodies. You're continuing to balance your male and female energies. You're becoming that sacred child of expression and happiness and joy and creativity. And all that you are as a beautiful sacred child is the story of God. Then you are allowing yourself that constant evolutionary friction so that you can see your reality from new perspectives and earn your greater level of mastery to constantly be initiated in. Because you will absolutely use that to assist the others that are coming up through that portal that you're clearing the way for. Because others cannot understand what they're going through. Because again, we are here for the first time. We are here rebuilding our light bodies, activating them. rebuilding them through the molecular, the cellular, the DNA of all that we know ourselves to be as greater light, through the Metatronic light codes that we are, through our own intentions, our affirmations, our purity of intention of who we are as light, who we want to be as light. And it's, again, up to free will. There is no judgment on any of it. Spirit, as they showed me this morning, and our clients and our clients in classes the past few days, when Archangel Michael is called forward from the Mother and the Father and the highest of the heavens and the legions of the angels that come with Archangel Michael, it's a collective of angelic beings that work on behalf of the heavenly councils. We don't have numbers because it's a collective consciousness of the Most High. It's not one being. The Archangel Michael is a collective consciousness of archangels of protection and love and guidance for light programs and evolution through the heavens. When Mother, Father call Archangel Michael and the Mother and the Father say, because of our universal evolution, we require this sector of space to be brought new light. Archangel Michael, will you go and bring light and shed light into this aspect of our children and of our space and of our home? Because the universe is the Mother, Father's home. The galaxy, the universe is, the omnipresent is the home. If there is a space within the home that requires light and cleaning and dusting, Archangel Michael is sent to it to bring light, to shed light, to see what's going on and how can we manifest greater light? How can we awaken and shake things up so that we can absolutely return to center and know that we are all source? Archangel Michael does not stand before the heavenly gates and in the communication offices. We're just giving you these euphemism metaphors because that's not what it is. It's an instant manifestation that Archangel knows what is Archangel Michael is doing, the legions, and what is, because they're programs of elegance. We're giving it to you in human layman terms. And Archangel Michael does not say, no, it's too dark there, I don't want to go. No, Archangel Michael says, my bags are already packed, I'm out. Because Archangel understands the universal energies. Archangel Michael understands that anything that would appear fearful or harmful or challenging or insurmountable are only the belief patterns that are held in the limitation of itself as light. Doesn't know itself as light. Doesn't know itself as pure love. Doesn't know itself as always with God. Doesn't know itself always as a manifesting creator. Doesn't know itself as a master of light. So Archangel Michael comes to say, absolutely, and all of the legions are there to say, you're playing such games of illusion and separation, but you understand that you're all one. You understand that you are light. Shed the light on it. Be the light of it. Fear not, dear ones, for you are all one. You are light. Shed the light on it. Be the light of it. Understand the light of it. Understand why the behaviors and the actions of those and all of us that are in those stories, why it occurs. I understand why I acted like that. I was speaking from a place of fear or not having my feelings respected and honored. So now I understand that minutia of that story, and I'm going to step beyond it and heal it and forgive it. But now I see the light of it. I'm Archangel Michael. I can face it because it's you. The mastery is you. The Archangel of Michael is you. The strength of you, the strong endurance of you and perseverance to see any challenge through and always bathe it with constant light and never be at play with the games. Stop the games. Shut the games off. Enough is enough. We're playing in light now because you have that light. You have that power too. No, this is my game of light, and this is my game of truth, and this is my morals, and these are my values, and this is what I'm going to play with. And state it, and be it. You are the legions. And so this is where we understand the heavenly to now, because we are bringing heaven to earth. And so this is why we give you these usefulness. We give you these stories of understandings, because these are how we are living everyday life. Anything that comes before you, face it as the master and the Archangel of Michael that you are. I understand why this story is facing me, because somewhere within me there is a fear of not being allowed to express myself freely and with great compassion, because I understand that I am a master and there's other people that perhaps might not be okay with that. I'm not everybody's cup of tea or whatever, but I also respect and honor their perspective. But I also have the right to be freely in love with who I am, and I share light to everybody. So understanding the minutia of these various levels of energies that you can come and be your fullest self with, and be okay being your fullest self in any level of minutia that you need to manage and oversee yourself that day. Because one day you might want to feel the injustice of it. The next day you might want to feel the transcending it and being the healer of it. The next day you might want to be over here and be one with them in the healing of it. So allow yourself that transmutatable, constant evolutionary you. You're constantly evolving, and God will never say, if Archangel Michael said, no, I can't do that, that's too fearful, it's too dark. God would never judge. God would never say before you, if you're sitting in this beautiful experience with you and God, and you're having this conversation of God, trying to understand choices and trying to understand your life minutia and your challenges that you face, and these things that God places before you as your initiations for you, not God, but it's you with you. Because you want to show yourself that you are one with God. That doesn't matter what is before you, you are one with God. You will see it as oneness, and you will place it in the highest light and honor of its experience. It's God. coming from old beliefs and old limitations and old fears. And that's why the behavior of the ego is the way it is, because it's wounded. That's what it thinks it knows, is just the survival mechanisms. And there's no judgment. God wouldn't say, well, no, you shouldn't have done that. Go back and try again. God is like, we love you dearly. That's what you needed. We love you unconditionally. And so the masters are now creating that. And that's what we had in our class this weekend, was this beautiful experience that we all experienced it at the same time, and just holding space, for those in the class. And it allowed the mastery to be born, because we held that space as mastery. We held that space as Archangel Michael, to not fear what you're going through as the emotional being that you are, birthing new life. Because the emotional body is so very powerful to get into and feel it and to honor it and be rich with it. Be rich with your emotional body. Own and face everything, because that's your mastery. And that is where we said earlier, that is your core vibration of truth. You know it because you've worked through every issue. You've worked through every choice you've ever made. And you've seen it for what it was. And you said, this is why I made that choice. I made that choice for this. I made that choice for that. And oh my gosh, I'm healing this inner child stuff. It's taken me a while, but I'm devoted. I will heal my inner child. I will heal that shadow aspect, because I want to feel myself as a spirit, as a soul. I want to feel myself as Archangel Michael, never fearing anything. No matter what gets taken from me, I will always stand with Archangel Michael, and I will always know I'm accepted and I'm loved. That's why we have to manifest those experiences. When you manifest things leaving your life, it's because you have fear of things leaving your life. So you got to deal with that fear. And then stand with Archangel Michael and say, why would I manifest that leaving my life? Because Archangel Michael said, because you feared it. What you fear will just come forward to you. And so just allow it to be the presence of its expression of God. There's no judgment, but heal it and go within and understand the choices that you make and how it affects others, because that is also the law of one. Your choices and your energy vibration affects others. Can you go within, rebuild yourself, love yourself, and honor yourself, and be the master of who you are, so that you're making choices that are heartfelt and constantly evolving and renewing yourself? Because you will be a master for others. And there will be books written about you, because you're now a new master of earth. And so the joy of, the story of God is the joy. And this is this multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar business of the art of manifestation. When you live from that experience of who you are as joy, if we take ourselves back to the initial consecration of your birth, from the very highest experience, we don't have to be linear and go back up the linear ladder of 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th and 9th and 10th dimensions, 15 dimensions. We don't have to go up through the ladder to take ourselves to the highest experience of who we are as source. We're omni right now. We are omnipresent with God right now. Before we took our separations in the multitude of bodies and forms and planets and realms that we have throughout creation, because we have the very first inception of this one galaxy, we're just talking about this one galaxy. We'll talk about the omnipresent. Before you became anything, you were always in one with source. You were never not becoming. You're always in essence of life, always. Even before you knew life, it was always life, because you're one with God. God is all things. God is omnipresent. The very first moment of your inception of who you are, in the highest of frequencies, if you will, because we are linear, we always like to think of things up and down and side to side and past and present, but that's not it. It's now. Your now expression of God, every time that you are born, and this is why your now evolution is so important. Just love, accept, and heal and forgive. Love, accept, and heal and forgive, because this now evolution allows that highest essence of you, always evolving on other realms, other forms, other bodies, its highest potential of evolution, because you've accepted it. You've made peace with it. You've brought oneness with it. You've brought your excitement of your journeys and of your choices. Say, wow, I guess I needed that to really wake me up. I guess I really needed that. And I accept myself as whole with it. I accept myself that no, my standards are higher. I deserve better. Whatever it is that you need and why you need it, it will change from day to day, because you'll be a new master in it from day to day, and you'll see it from its infinite number of perspectives. So always go back and do your reflection, so that you can always refine, and you can always see yourself from a higher elevation, an expanded elevation. And so from this initial birthing, this golden sphere of you and source, and before you even had a name, before you even had your purpose, if you will, it's all moot. It's all moot, because from the original essence of source creator, the most incredible, phenomenal adoration of unconditional love that anyone, the excitement of being that anyone could imagine, because we just don't have words that encompasses the experience that source has of us. And it is not what is written about in any dogma or text, because we just don't have those words. And we've only experienced only this much of what Source is of us. And this is our journey, is to return to the magnitude of who we are as Source in all moments that we can. And in this inception of who we are as this beautiful golden sphere of Source, before we've ever had duties or missions or purposes and our unique personalities, the story of God was to breath through joy of creation. And we say with great pause, and how simple can your life be? And so in this beautiful portal of 8-8, how can you refine your life to simplicity, to be simply that, to be the story of God? Your purpose of being is purely joy. And the ego will take you back. But what about this, this, and this? What about I had to go to school and then I had to get a master's degree and then I had to do this, this, and this? Those were your expressions that you chose. That was the story of your soul. But now that you understand it from a bigger perspective, a wider perspective, a more rich perspective of spirit, because spirit is rich, you understand why you are in all the realms that you are and all the bodies and the forms you've taken. And all the experiences that you've taken, so that you could see yourself as an infinite number of experiences, and always know that there's always going to be that friction to put you out here and catapult you into something new and catapult you up into something better. And that is always through the manifestation of joy. You're seeing yourself in this portal, constantly renewing and nourishing and bathing and blending all that you are from all experiences, all accumulations, all assimilations, all of the richness of you as spirit, the love of you, the blessing of you, the creativity of you, the acceptance of you, even the weaknesses that you have to see yourself in new ways, and the vulnerability that you have to see yourself in new ways. Pour all of the greatness that is you into this portal. And this portal is how you direct yourself into the templates of 5D. This portal is your ever moment direction and focus that you pour into this joy of who you are as spirit. You're aligning with the story of God, because your only purpose from God's perspective, if you will, and I'm not saying that I have these perspectives of what God is, I'm showing you the imprint of the story that I was given through the Masters, was the experience of joy of you. And we all know this as parents. I know as my parents, when I experience my children, I just want to see them happy, just to see them as joyful kids. That's like, wow, look at them. That's your experience of God with you, except on magnitudes that we just don't understand, because God is, intricate little pulsars and quasars and universes and galaxies and all levels of dynamic of life in between. We have no concept of how big God is. And God knows it all. God knows everything now. God knows every thought before you even think it. God knows exactly everything before you think it, and offers all opportunities to say, hey, what are your choices? Are you going to align with your heart and choose this because it's really magnificent? It'll take you everywhere. You get to create your own wings and you get to soar. That's joyful. You get to create joy. You get to create the joy through remembering who you are as love, to heal yourself through every wound, to heal yourself through every challenge. And also know too, to ask for help when you need it, to know that you can reach out and say, hey, I'm being vulnerable right now. I need help. I'm going through this really big challenge. I don't know how to resolve it, and I'm seeking help. And it takes a lot of courage to do that. And I didn't do that through all of my years. All of my years of going through this and having infinite number of dark nights of the soul from the collective and individual perspective, and my beautiful, so many beautiful ancestors. And I wouldn't have made it without them. All the beautiful, thank you, ancestors are always with me, and the beautiful, thank you, spiritual energies that are constantly embodying me and telling me and showing me how important and loved I am. And what we did this, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, Spirit, why you're always humbled when people before you, that you're here to be a part of their becoming and their constant mastery and being the joy of who they are and remembering themselves as the joy of God, that you get to witness it. And that's God's gift to you. Sometimes these gifts that God gives us and these miracles that Spirit and Source and Creator allows, we oftentimes, most often than not, because we're still living in the separative experience of ego having to be big and flashy, the miracles of God are so subtle, and they are the breakthroughs. Like what happened in our class yesterday. For me, that was a huge breakthrough, because I absolutely got to see my dreams coming into fruition right then and there, And as soon as the class was over, we went like hours over class, because we were having so many monumental experiences vibrationally. My team said, whispered, you got to start charging more for your classes for what's being offered in them. The teachers and the masters were saying to me, and I said, well, there are clients that are, I understand their financial concerns, and I always try and make my offerings, reasonable for everybody. So I'm going to figure out a package deal for those that are constantly with me every week so that we can afford to feed each other those abundance. But they also showed me a paradigm of abundance that we can flow with one another that will serve the all. So again, I'm not worried about the prices, but they came to me and said, you really got to start charging more, for what's going on in these classes. And what they're being offered and what they're getting out of it. And just know that that's your value of your energy, and don't hold yourself in less than, because all light workers go through that. They always hesitate to charge for them being the portal of light that they are, and all the years and all the eons of lifetimes that we've come in the devotion of light. And it's only between you and God. And when you get those downloads from your teams, and you get those instant, incredible synchronicities of light, that is God showing you that you are so worthy of everything that's coming to you. And because you hold yourself in such, we hold ourselves separate from all of those masters and those beings that we give our power to and we seek guidance from. Now start revering yourself, and because that's what's coming to you in abundance, because you deserve it. I mean, look at how we're changing lives. That's important because it affects the all. When you activate a DNA, when you activate mastery in someone, it changes the all. It changes the all. And that's where I'm revere again on a knee. Thank you, Spirit. I sometimes I don't have words because I understand how important and sacred it is. I see it. You can't take that and, you can't monopolize that. I know. That's why it's taken me as long as it had to step into I've been a master for many long, but now I'm claiming it and I'm owning it. And now I'm going to start pouring it into my portal of acceptance and honoring. And now I'm going to also start receiving my mastery and the many blessings and the miracles that Spirit is showing me that I'm ready for. But I had to get to that place. Yes, I'm ready to receive my mastery and whatever blessings you give it to me, Spirit. And I'm going to go where you send me as Archangel Michael. Because we will all be, as the masters, we're all needed for all of these different collectives that need our vibration. And each of us have a different vibration, a different gift, and a different talent. And it can only be earned through who you are in your expression. If we did not have that class yesterday, and if we didn't go through that expression and exploration of who we were as unique beings, those energies would not have come forward for that perfect manifestation of pure joy to be together with one another and to share in those sacred stories of one another. That mastery would not have been activated. Do you see what we're saying? So we just don't, the ego cannot predict that. The ego cannot manage that. That is pure, unconditional, spirit-guided, spirit-led, spirit-infused, dynamic now, synchronicity of God, and all heavens and everything's are working together. Boom, that's the story of God. And you can't predict it. You can't account for it. You can't put it in a number for a financial to say, well, I predict that this is going to, no, no. Art of manifestation, live in the joy of God. You can't put it in a budget. You can't put it in a synopsis of how much you're going to make next year. You just can't. We're 5D now. Live in the joy of who you are, who God breathed you in that very first incarnation. Before you even had a name, it was because Spirit, Source, the Creator, wanted to be in the fullest of excitement to see you as joy, to be you as joy, to experience you as joy, with you as you. God is not separate from your joy. God is you in your joy, saying, yes, more joy, more dancing, more singing, more playing. It's you. When I come forward and I speak and I teach and I offer, I am in so much joy. And Spirit says, there you go. There's more. There's another client. There's this. There's that. You see what we're saying? That is the art of manifestation. That is a core vibration. That is something that is your unique core vibrational talent, gift. And it's always evolving. Always evolving, and it should, because you are a master that's always evolving. The grids are evolving. The planet is evolving. The collective is waking up. And you're calling in all that you are from all that you're being offered as the portal of all things in between and all around. That story of God is the simple manifestation of our simple evolution, to live in the joy of who you are as the sacred child without anything being held back and no compromising, without apology, be in joy. And if those say, why are you so happy when I'm so grumpy and my life is falling apart and da-da-da, well, that's okay. I'm here to hold light for you and just show you that there is a possible way that you can be joyful too. And it's okay if you're not. But I get to choose who I get to be. And I'm going to stand proud in it regardless of, others' needs and wants for me not to be joyful. It's okay. Everybody has to have their unique perspective, and it's not going to stop you from evolving. So be the light, because they will also be in the light once they've healed their inner child and their wounds to say, why is life so nasty for me? It's all the vibration of return. It's all the vibration of the beliefs you're holding about yourself as not being joyful. What beliefs do you have of your story of God? God is not fair to you. God is absolutely fair. You're not being fair to you. So release the blame and the outer blame of the outer reality. No, it's all within. Claim it. Claim, claim, claim. Claim it all. That's your mastery. Mastery is the owning of all that you are in fairness and equality, in the joy and the balance of the oneness. That's the law of one. And you stand with Archangel Michael, because Archangel Michael understands. It doesn't matter how dark it is. Archangel Michael, wow, I got the light to cover that. Don't worry about that. On it yesterday. Nothing to fear. Light is intelligence. Light is the infusion and the essence of source and spirit. That is joy. When you absolutely see someone in their joy, there's God running right through it. That is life. That is infusion. That is radiance. That is illumination. And that is truth. That is the power of the pure joy that you are. So be it. Be joyful. How can I feel my story of joy? We're entering these great portals. How can I infuse the heart of who I am, the chakras of who I am? How can I be this incredible fusion of love and joy? Because that's what I want my reality, my 5D earth. How do I want it to look? How do I want it to feel? How do I want to see myself in it? How do I want to see others in it? I want to see others that are happy. I want to see others that are healed. I want to see our waters purified and cleansed and bathed in the highest light, because I know that I am, and I can see the earth. I am the bridge of the new earth. I am the creating of the heaven through it. And spirit creates it all. As I asked in one of my experiences the other day, and they said, you are of spirit. That spirit is altering all things. Ego is not of spirit. Spirit is a part of, it's a part of the dressing. But spirit is the alterer. Spirit is the alchemist. Spirit is the evolutionaryist. Spirit. The constant breath and evolution of God. Be joyful. Be joyful. You will see all things change. The art of manifestation. Joy. J-O-Y. Joy. Very simple. And when you honor and devote yourself and commit yourself to being joyful, living in joy, seeing your body as joy, breathing joy into your health, into your cells, into your organs, and you sit at night and say, I am so loved. I am so in joy of my cells. I am so youthful. I'm turning the clock back on my youth here. I'm gonna turn the clock back on all illnesses and all things within me, because I am magnificent and I am the joy of God. I am the story of God. Make no mistake about it. And God will rewrite me right now. Because I am that vibration. I know this. I absolutely know it's my name. And I get to heal thy name. Because in my name, all is in thy name. When you speak your name, are you in gratitude and honor of it? Are you in the joy of your name? Are you in the joy of what your name is? And some may say in the linear perspective, well, it's just a name, it's just letters. My parents chose it. They didn't know what they were doing. They absolutely did. You chose it. You chose your name. You are the vibration of God. Make no mistake about how important and how powerful you are. Step out of the small stories. Your name is God. Spirit, the creator, all it is. It's a vibration. You speak it with the vibration of love. Oh, man, I'm going to start loving myself. I want to feel the joy of my name. When people say my name, I'll say, wow, that's me. I want to feel impressed about my name because it feels good for no other reason. And you know that when you're in the vibration of joy, it's just because you just want to feel good about who you are. You want to feel your cells burst with light. You want to wake up the next morning feeling better than you did the day before. You want to know that when you speak, it actually rhymes in the version and the vibration of love. It's got the essence of love all through it, because you're God, you know it. You know it because why? Because you're awake. Everything is purposeful. Everything is one. Everything is love. Everything is the law of love. It just is. So that you deepen into it and accept it all. Accept it all. No matter how hard and challenging, accept it. Bring peace with it. Be peace with it. Accept it. Open your heart and know that your heart in the opening of it is the healing of thy name. Love it. Open your heart and love it all. Open your heart and say, this was what I needed. I needed this. And I'm going to sort out why I needed it. Why did I need to feel so validated? Why did I need to feel so valued? And then you go back to that inner child and say, wow, you had some really deep trauma there. I'm just going to hold you. I'm going to hold you dear, because that trauma you went through was not okay, but I'm going to be compassionate with you. I'm going to hold you. That's how you heal trauma. And if it takes 5 years to heal a deep trauma wound, then you take 5 years and you devote yourself to it. Commit to it. Every day, for 10 minutes, I'm going to feel the love of who I am. I'm going to give myself compassion for that inner child that went through that traumatic wound. because I know it's multidimensional and I want to be the master of me. I want to be the joy of me because I know that's how I manifest all things. I manifest the love, I manifest the song, I manifest the brilliance, I manifest the beautiful experience of a sacred home that's a sacred healing space and a balanced space and a healthy space. My body within and without is healthy and I'm balanced and I'm new and I'm renewed and I'm absolutely gorgeous. Because I speak with the essence of love. I get it now. I get why I'm here. I get why I've come here 100,000 times. I get why I've taken all the forms I have. I get why I've taken all the experiences where I thought that were not okay. And I damned myself for those choices that I could have known better. And I allowed the trust of another to harm or hurt me. I know why I did it, because it's allowing me right now to deepen my love and accept it all. Because I want to stand in that vibration of Archangel Michael. I want to stand in the vibration of the Masters, where you look to no one as less than, you look to all as equal. That is mastery. And you must be humbled. Humble. Be in reverence. And then you allow the ego to take a back seat and you just love spirit. And you will be on your knees. You know you're living from spirit when you allow yourself to be humbled. And you see, we don't mean humbled as to giving your power away as less than. That's not humility. Humility is absolutely knowing that you are so rich in spirit, you love it all. Because it's what you needed. Because you had the equal depth to love yourself through it. That's humility. When you break open the ego, you break open your chakras and all those little wounds that kept you held back in ego and fear and reacting for your life and your safety and your self-preservation. When you are humble, all of those dense codes are broken. And it's not for giving your power because you're less than. That is not humility. It's not what is written in the dictionary. Humility is your surrendering to who you are as spirit and allowing all of those veils of density to be broken away because you love yourself. You are a soft and precious child. The story of God is to adore you and to love you as joy. Can you do that? Can you love yourself as joy? Can you be the joy and the expression of you as joy? Can you express yourself as joy and live as joy creatively, expressively, divinely, experientially, explorationally? Can you be joyful? Can you love who you are? Can you love your name? Can you love your body? Can you love your choices, to know that those were your choices that you needed to bring you to this now moment of awakening, and every wound within you is healed through your humility to let spirit love it all? That's humility. It's the graceful, the most gentle, the most incredible, undeniable, unexplainable, unfathomable word we just don't have words for, because it will shake and shift every cell within your being, and you are the one that gets to carry it. Books will be written in your mastery when you allow. That is humble. Humble is the surrendering of spirit to change and alter all. That is alchemy. That is mastery. That is straight from the heavens. That is the book and the story of God. It has nothing to do about sin. It has nothing to do about right or wrong. Humble yourself and let spirit love you. You're worthy. You're perfect and you're worthy. Be the light of source. Be the light of spirit. Be the light of God. Be what you need to know yourself as joy. Surrender ego to spirit. You are the story of joy. You are the story of joy. You are the story of joy. You are the master of who you are as joy. How can you create joy? How can you live simplicity in joy? How can your life be simple? How can your body feel more simple? What do you need? What do you really, really need? You need to love yourself because you want your body to be healthy. Because you want your children to know that you're balanced. And you put yourself together every day with light and with care. And you know that the angels are with you. The angels are always with you saying, you got this. You've gone through so much. Just love yourself. We love you so much. Why can't you just love yourself? Anything you need is the love that you are giving yourself. Because in that love, all of those little veils and little cogs in the wheel just get taken right off your chakras. And you start to live as this beautiful open vessel. And those that are before you have the blessing of spirit to say, wow, a master was just born today. How do you feel? You are the conduit and the vessel of that. How do you feel? And you're humbled. In those beautiful, magical moments, you can't predict and you can't foretell, because Spirit wants to just bless it right through you. Spirit's like, this is your gift. And you sit there as the gentleness. The heavens celebrate you, because you gave yourself just enough surrender to let God just show you the miracles that are always there. It's that easy. Can I be joyful and just loving myself and just letting these clients before me feel the love of God in all things? Yes. Is a miracle going to be birthed today? Yes. Can my life be this simple? Yes. Can I receive myself as a miracle? Yes. Can I create miracles? Yes. Can I heal my body? Yes. Is my name joyful? Absolutely. Can I heal through my sharing? Yes. Is my story important? Yes. Can I be everything I've ever desired to experience in love and in joy and happiness and surrender of God? Yes. Can I create a new world? Yes. Can I heal the planet? Yes. Am I great? Am I needed? Am I valued? Yes. The Master is born. So powerful. Heavenly silence. And so the heavens bow in reverence. The heavens bow in reverence to you. Wow. And that, dear lighted ones, how can you pour all that you are as nourishment, as love, as value and joy into this portal, so that you're preparing yourself for new realms of exploration, new realms of stories of you as Spirit? What is your story with God? And remember, it's probably not going to have anything to do with building anything or doing anything. It will be to experience yourself as joy. And in that, all things will be delivered that you think you need. Because God wants to offer you those miracles. Most often than not, the miracles that you will receive, thank you, in inspiration is those ones that matter most to you. When you see others come to life, you see them break through their most difficult challenge because you were holding space for them, or because you believed in them, or you saw someone express themselves in a way that was unique and you held space for them, or you believed in them when no one else did. Those are miracles. Don't underestimate them for your evolution. And you're birthing yourself and all others as a master. So very powerful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to all of you. I love you so much. And for those of you that would like to donate and join us on our weekly Ascension classes, as I said, they're a beautiful sacred group of beautiful masters that I'm so connected with all of you. And you know who you are because you're watching. I'm humbled to be in your presence and to be a portal. And so they want me to remind everybody that when we have those classes, and just like we're having right now, the portal of all that I am as a conduit, whether you're here in person or you're listening to it later, it doesn't matter because it's all now multidimensional. That's the Christ consciousness, that I bring forward what I am as a conduit and a portal based on the sacredness of your just enjoying to be who you are and just enjoying to receive from your heart. And that allows the consciousness of all of our planet to change. So when you live from your heart, you pour love into this portal of who you are. You pour the story of the joy of who you are. You pour the story of joy for the planet, for the water, for anything that you want to see as the alchemy of love into the portal of who you are, and you live from this space of gratitude and reverence and joy. That is the manifestation. That is the story of God, to simply be in the joy of evolution, to be in the joy of creation, to be in the joy of your laughter, to be in the joy of your resting, to be in the joy of your just accepting and loving and honoring yourself and acknowledging yourself as joy. And that's how you create this manifestation portal. Thank you. Thank you to all Spirit that is always with me. Is there a final message? So our links are below for any of our classes. I'm so grateful to all of you, and I'm humbled because I can only bring forward what your hearts are open and willing to bring forward, because I am a conduit, which means that I have the alchemist link. A vibrational link is here. It's always here. But if I have this experience, then it allows me to open up that to bring it through. So that's what a Christ conduit does, always walking in light and then activating others in their light, shifting their fields in light, allowing new beginnings and new opportunities to know themselves as light. And then that portal of communication of wisdom and information from all timelines, from all grids, comes through that. And that's how we read energy. And also, of course, all of your teams and your guides that are working in that for what you need when you need it. Is there a final message for everybody? Thank you so much, Mother Father. Song of connection. That's what they wanted me to sing, the song of connection. Light of God, light of God, light of God. We are one, we are one. Holy light, holy, holy light. Thank you, dear lighter ones. We love you. We're all connected. I love you. Bye. The story of God is joy. Go be joyful.